So it is now my absolute joy and pleasure to introduce Baroness Uddin, who's going to give a few opening remarks to officially launch this event this morning. The Right Honourable Baroness Uddin is an advocate for women's economic, social justice and political equality. In 1998, she took her seat in the House of Lords as the first Bangladeshi and Muslim, appointed in recognition for her long-standing contribution to community development. A former advisor to the British Prime Minister on community cohesion and improving women's participation in politics and public life, she has served on the Select Committee of European Affairs and chaired several government task forces. As a mother of a son who lives with autism and learning disability, Baroness Uddin is a devoted champion of disability rights, and for 7 years was a board member of Autism Speak. She is an officer and member of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on the Commonwealth, Africa, International Students, Islamic and Ethical Finance, and chairs the National Commission of Muslim Women. Baroness Uddin, bless you for taking the time out of your ridiculously busy schedule that makes me go weak at the knees just thinking about it. And over to you.
Thank you, Katie. Good morning. It's such a privilege to take part. Thank you so much, Laura Murphy, for your vision and your dedication to this incredible work. And this morning, I am absolutely delighted to be sharing this session, this platform with Rania Abdullah, Rana Ossekar, Natasha D'Souza, and Dr. Anita Davis-Defoe. Welcome to this wonderful gathering, and it's such a privilege again. My name is Manzila Paula Uddin, and I've been a member of the House of Lords for the past this is my 23rd year. I'm essentially an activist, a community activist. I joined the Labour Party when I was 16, and I have remained engaged on the street level politics, I suppose, in that sense, but in essence, really enabling and empowering women to realize their full potential, which is, I think, today is all about, is the fact that we are having to remember to celebrate this one day as an example for what's happening to us, all of us. But it's very important to showcase what is happening to us and the progress that so many of us here have been part of, pushing the changes that we have been able to make. I mean, I take changes very personally and very specifically. When I was 16, I went to a march which was happening against the fascists in my area, which is called Brick Lane in London. And I saw a really avid, very strong woman called Belle Harris, and she always used to sell these incredible, powerful messages by women and for women. And she was an activist and she was a feminist. And I bought something which says, this was at the early age of 16 when I very foolishly got married. And then I says, if I could find a babysitter, I would change the world. And I have kept that postcard. In fact, I should have got it out to show you as a mark of the person that I've always wanted to be, which is that it wasn't about if I had the children and I could find the babysitter, but that I wanted to change the world. And, I didn't know at that time that I would end up having 5 children. I have 5 grandchildren. I'm very blessed. But the innate drive, because I just come from Bangladesh at the age of 13, sort of being relieved by my family to be here joining my father after the war of liberation. And this drive to see injustice driven out of our communities, our families, was as a really pressing factor. So what my work is very simple. I'm not a chair of this, chair of that, and I'm not on many boards, and it's not very possible for many of us from minority communities to achieve board position in this country. Still, women are at the back foot, but so are minority women. So I have spent large amount of my lifetime devoted to trying to make a difference to the one woman that comes across me. I think that's one woman at a time, because I feel that that's really important, that for women's well-being, which is what Katie and Laura and Roger have been trying to pursue, is really critical. So in Parliament, I focus very, very much on details around women's development, women's mental well-being, always remembering that, I have 4 sons and 4 grandsons, and still married to the same man for my sins. But, so it's really important that we engage, we remain engaged, we remain united across political divides, and I do work very much across different political parties. And in House of Lords, it's such a blessing that we're able to do that. We are able to collaborate. So I just want to really finish because there are so many incredible women taking part. I just wanted to introduce myself to you and maybe take conversations, not only here, but outside this platform elsewhere. My main focus has been very recently, as Roger said, I've been trying to establish an organization called National Commission on Muslim Women. And this follows many other initiatives that I've been able to have the privilege of and honor of being able to be part of. What I wanted to say is that Change the Script is the campaign of this organization, and we want to celebrate women's presence and women's legacy in this country, particularly minority women. But that's not my main focus. My main focus is women per se and women's well-being. And I'm very pleased to say that domestic violence, which has been a problem of our millennia, is something that our government is finally addressing. And today and on Wednesday is almost the last hurdle of getting the legislation through, and actually we'll be working on it until 12 o'clock tonight. And that is not an unusual experience, although it is lately in Parliament. Those of you who work closely with Parliament and our parliamentarians will know that, our work never stops as women in our homes, outside, within our communities, with our family, but then we have responsibilities wherever we are. And, my final point will be that it is remarkable, this new innovation of online working and being able to reach out. It's really opened up a new world of network of support. Although I so miss this physical hugging and touching, which is how me, Katie, and we all are perhaps. And I miss that so much because Parliament is where I've driven women's organization and women and children who never would dream of coming to Parliament. My effort has been for the last 23 years to connect communities to Parliament. And I miss this work. And I hope and pray that, we will overcome all of this together. And I think that's the message really for all of us. And I know that this would be shared by each and every one of you. It's only our collective action that will, result any changes. And we've seen when we are disunited, when we are disempowered from each other, then people can drive a wedge and mayhem can occur, and all the progress we have made suddenly goes out of the window. George Floyd's death highlights that. But, one woman dies every week from partner violence. And so, this is endless. So we need to continue. All of the women that are participating and all of our supporters, brothers in arms that are here and present, I want to thank every one of you for taking part, because without all of you, no changes will occur. So just my very final point is I'm on social media at Baroness Uddin, Twitter, which I'm not very great on, but Facebook and LinkedIn, and I look forward to seeing you and hearing you and being with you. Thank you so much for allowing me this morning to say a few words. And thank you, Laura. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Roger, for the outstanding work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us this morning.